We'll be talking about the cleric. This is another episode of my discussion video. Talking about focusing on the player's handbook. Again, folks, I know I said in previous videos that I do plan to get into do a special playlist for Xanatar's Guides. I do plan to, because that is such an amazing book. It's just that things keep getting away from me, and I have other videos to get done. Now, the cleric. One of the staples of Dungeons and Dragons. The class that seemingly very few people ever want to play, but the party always needs. Also one of the best healers. Now again, I'm sure there's some people who'd be like saying a bard or a cleric. Sorry, a bard or a druid could also do as much healing as a cleric, but the life domain cleric, which I'll get into at some point, is one of the best healers, in my opinion, in the game. And then that's with me saying that without looking at any homebrew stuff, okay? Because obviously homebrew can do things better than vanilla stuff, like if they're badly designed, in my opinion. Okay. Now, what can I say about this, folks? The cleric... Oh, damn. The cleric, how should I put this? Alright, first off, let's talk about their magic, actually. A cleric is a warrior. Well, not a full-fledged warrior. But yeah. Sorry. It's just that clerics are not exactly priests. They're not exactly priests, but they're not exactly warriors. Warrior priest is the closest I can possibly get to calling them. See, holy warrior would be more of an apt description of a paladin. You know? But at the same time, a paladin, from what I gathered, a paladin doesn't always necessarily... A paladin draws their power more so from their oath than they do to a particular deity. Like, a cleric... Say, a paladin oath may have him be more focused on serving a kingdom. Like, a paladin may serve a kingdom rather than a god. With an example of oath of the crown. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, a paladin can be very religious. Like, again, there's a reason why that's a staple. But it's just that in 5th edition, they seem to deviate from that a little bit. Paladins still harness divine magic, but it seems that it's more tied with their devotion to their oath. You know, sort of like how each lantern draws their power from their oath and that particular emotion, such as will, love, rage, and greed, and so forth. Clerics, however, draw immense power because of their... I feel like it's because of their... Whereas a paladin is devoted to something, like an oath of vengeance, or an oath of the crown, or oath of the ancients, or oath of conquest, or oath of trickery, or is it treachery? Either way. See, that they do get the power from some god, but it's not in a way of worship. So... that is why when you look at a paladin, they don't get as much power as a cleric would. Whereas a cleric is someone who is a warrior who is entirely devoted to their deity. Now, let's go over their table first. Let's go over... Oh, got that. Just going to close that. So let's go over their table first. Here we go. Now, from level 1, you have spellcasting and divine domain. Now, I think there's another class. I'm not sure if there's another. You could consider the warlock. Oh no, the sorcerer. Yeah, the sorcerer is a better example. Similar to the sorcerer, you get your archetype with the cleric at level 1. And your archetype is referred to as your divine domain. You also get spellcasting. You know 3 cantrips, and your spell slots per level are 2. Now let's focus on. I'm going to focus on. We're going to ignore proficiency bonus, and because, as I said, that stays the same regardless of your class. So we're going to focus on the features, then magic. So, okay, in terms of features that you get per level, okay? At first level, you have spellcasting and your choice of divine domain. At second level, you have your channel divinity once per. It says once per rest. I'm guessing long. You have your divine domain feature, which is a special. Now, when I say divine domain feature, folks, what I'm referring to is your archetype feature. Okay, so I'm just going to say divine domain feature, and I'll get into them more specifically when we look at the divine domains. You get none at third level. You get an ability score improvement at 4th level. At 5, you have the ability to destroy undead. Challenge rating 1/2, which means you can basically insta-kill any fairly weak undead creatures. At 6th level, you have channel divinity twice per long rest. Again, I'm just guessing long rest. It might be short rest. So bear with me. We'll get into that at some point. You get another divine domain feature at 6th level. You get none at 7th level. At 8th level, your ability score, you get an ability score improvement. You can now destroy challenge rating 1 undead instantly, and you get a divine domain feature. You get none at 9th. At 10th level, you get divine intervention. That's a really cool ability. We'll get into that when we get to it. Destroy undead, challenge rating 2 improvement at 11. 12th, you get an ASI. Again, remember folks, ASI stands for ability score improvement. 14th, your destroy undead gets upgraded to challenge rating 3. Okay, and you might notice I skipped level 13. I'm actually going to skip levels that you get nothing at. At level 16, you get another ASI. At 17, your destroy undead gets upgraded to challenge rating 4. You get another divine domain feature. Yeah, at 18th level, you have channel divinity 3 times per rest. At 19th, another ASI, and at 20th level, you get divine intervention improvement. And there you have it, folks. They are the features in order of what you get. Don't worry, folks. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of those features later on. Now, as for magic, now I'm just going to clarify this right now so I can skip it later on. Clerics, and I think druids. I'm not sure about paladins now. I think paladins can do it as well. I think those 3 classes can do it. When they get access to magic, they can swap out magic every day. You have access to your entire spell list, but you can only prepare certain spells, a certain amount of spells per day. But you can swap them out every single day. Say you have, let's say you have 20. You have 20 total spells at your disposal. You can prepare 10 of them. So say you're like, okay, guys, since we're not going to be doing much stuff, I'm going to take some miscellaneous utility spells. But then, oh god, we're going to go after this boss. Okay, give me a day, and I'll prepare all my healing and protection spells, and maybe some damage spells. So yeah, you can swap out your spells depending on what your character thinks they may need for that day. I'm not sure about paladins. I know druids can do that, and I know clerics can do that. You're basically getting this power from the gods. Okay, now we'll start off with cantrips. You you start off with 3 cantrips from level 1. You get an additional cantrip at 4th level. So you have 4 cantrips all the way up to 9th level. And then at 10th level you get another cantrip, which gives you a total of 5, all the way down to level 20. So you have 5 cantrips. Not bad. I don't believe there's that many healing cantrips, but there is some really good ones, like for example Spare the Dying, which is great for healers because it stops the person from bleeding out. Now let's get into your spell slots per level. Okay, we're going to start with first. Then we're last time I tried doing explaining this, like with the bards, I believe it was a bit all over the place. So we're going to break it down, as their levels. Okay, so first level spell slot, second level, all the way to 9th. So, okay. It will make spellcasters a lot longer, but I'm telling you folks, it'll be so much easier in the long run. Alright. Starting out, you have 2 spell slots of first level. Then at second level, you get a third first level spell slot. Your first spell slots get upgraded at 3rd level to having a total of 4. You keep 4 first level spell slots until the end. So in total, you will only have 4 first level spell slots, and you get your maximum number at 3rd level. You get also, when you reach 3rd level, you also get access to your 2nd level spell slots. Now you start off with 2, and then at 4th level you get upgrade. You get an additional 1, giving you a total of 3. Now that's it. From 4th level onwards, you will have maximum number of 2nd level spell slots, a total of 3. At 5th level, you get 2 3rd level spell slots. At 6th level, you get 3 3rd level spell slots, and that is your total for the remainder until you level 20, which is then still 3. At 7th level, you get access to your 4th level spell slots, but unlike the others, you only get 1 4th level spell slot. You get an additional 1 at 8th level, giving you a total of 2 4th level. Then you get an additional 1 at 9th level, giving you a total of 3. That is your maximum number all the way up to 20. At 9th level, you get your first 5th level spell slot. Then at 10th, you get your 2nd. And then you only have 2 until you reach level 18, where you get an additional 5th level spell slot, giving you a total of 3, which is your total, which is your maximum all the way to 20. 6th level spell slots are accessed at level 11. You have 1, and you only have 1 until level 19, where you then get 2, where you'll then have a maximum of 2, which is what you keep for the remainder of your level. Now, 7th level spell slots is accessed at level 13. You only get 1, and then at level 20 it gets up. Your maximum goes up to 2, and then that's it. And then for 8th and 9th, you only have 1 each, and you access 8th level spell slots at level 15, and 9th at level 17. So, in total, by the time you reach level 20, if you're a dedicated cleric, as in no multiclassing, your total spell slot level should be as follows: 4 first, 3 second, 3 third, 3 fourth, 3 fifth, 2 sixth, 2 seventh, and 1 8th and 1 9th. Now again, that's not a lot of spell slots, but you can get a lot of support and healing done with just that many, or a lot of damage done, depending on your divine domain. And you still have pretty cool features, all the same. Now, we're going to get into when you're creating a cleric, pick a deity. Now, unless you're a power gamer. Like if you, I'm not a big fan of power gamers, folks. I understand that it's. I'm not saying that it's the wrong way to play. I'm not saying that. It's just that power gaming in D&D seems fruit. Oh god, I need a cleric. Ugh. All right. As I was saying, I'm not saying your type of fun is wrong. I just see power gaming in D&D pointless because generally it's not. I have more fun. I've had more fun sometimes when my character fails at something. For example, now don't get me wrong. Like because I had wings in the Lunar Guard Adventures, because I have wings, and no one else felt like they needed them. I was like, okay, I'll take the gauntlets of ogre power, which gave me 18 strength. Now, yeah, that's useful because again, that means I can at least pick up one person and fly with them. And depending on who that person is, it can be very useful. It also gives us someone who can do strength things like lift stuff if we need to. Now, that being said, in my other characters where I don't have the gauntlets, I find it fun when I find it amusing when my character's like, when the DM's like, oh, give me a strength check or a strength 7. I'm like, my wizard can't do this. Or when I have to talk to someone and I'm not. When I try talking to someone but my stats are not exactly in the favor of talking. I find those amusing. So. And with that being said, the way I rule in my games, the way I rule clerics and paladins and warlocks, the way I rule them is with a cleric, be devoted to your god. That's how I see clerics. Be devoted to your god. Do not break your god's tenets, or I'll give you a couple of warnings, but if you continue to ignore my warnings, such as, for example, in Critical Role, when Pike was doing stuff that Sarah and Leigh would not exactly agree with, her religious symbol starts cracking. If I gave that warning to a player and they continue to do that for several sessions and when I say, and also not just several sessions, but like in a longer time span, like say like if they kept doing it for a month or 2 months afterwards, in game, not out game, in game, I would have them temporarily lose access to their powers, and I'll take the player aside. I'll take the player aside, and be like, yeah, look, you're going against your god. Your power comes from your god. Please, either shift domain, or shift god, or role play with your deity. That's how I rule clerics. With paladins, it's carry out your oath. Look at your oath's tenets and carry them out. Like actually do what your tenets say. Or at least try and do what they imply or whatever. Like don't be lawful stupid, but at the same time, if your tenets require you to be good, be good. Like don't be lawful stupid, but do what your oath dictates. And for warlocks, don't be a dick to your patron, because he gave you that power. He gave you the power. Like you're the one that made the pact with this being, like this powerful being, to get power, and so uphold work with your basically clerics, paladins, and warlocks. They require a lot of give and take in terms of role playing with your DM and discussions with your DM. Now, when it comes to pacts, especially with the Fiend Pact, and if you're role playing at your patron's a devil, simplest solution: talk to your DM. Simplest pact is the devil will probably give you powers for your soul. Done and dusted. Like, and then when I say your soul, I mean when you die. Like when your character dies, your soul, regardless of your alignment, your soul goes to hell. But yeah, either way, either goddamn way. That is the simplest. Now your pact could be anything. Maybe you offered your firstborn son or daughter or whatever. Like your pact can be anything. But with these three characters, I do require this type of forethought and planning with your character. I'm just gonna make sure I'm streaming. Yeah, I am, and I'm recording. Thank God, because we're a good few minutes now into the video. So yeah, folks, please pay attention. Now again, if your DM is more relaxed than me when it comes to these classes, then fair enough. Do what you want. But okay. The quick build of a cleric suggests wisdom should be your highest build score, followed by strength or con, and then secondly choose the acolyte background. Now that's the quick build. Your background could be whatever you want. You could have dex over strength. I wouldn't recommend it, but and then also like maybe you want to focus on more con, so you can actually take a couple of hits, so you have lots of HP. But yeah, wisdom should be your highest. Your hit points is one. Your hit die is 1d8 per cleric level, so 1d8 per level. Your hit points first level is 8 plus your con, which again with a high enough con you can get a good number of health. When you're upgrading your health for level 2 and onwards, you can either take 5 plus your con, or you can roll a d8 plus your con. Now, again, let's say your con is a plus. Your constitution modifier is plus 3. You can that means you can either take 8 from level 2 to 20. You can take 8, which could eventually wind you up with a fairly decent amount of health. You'll be definitely over the 100 mark. So let's see. Let me just get my calculator out. 8 times 20. You'll be looking at 160. If your modifier from the very beginning is plus 3 and you have the 8. Now, by rolling a d8 though, you can get higher than 8. So it varies like what you want to do. Now, the proficiencies that you have as a cleric are as follows. You can use both light and medium armor. You can use shields as well to boost your AC by 2. You have all simple weapons. So yeah, you're not. So yeah, I'll actually go with strength. The only there's not that many dex-based simple weapons. Now again, this can change based on your race, because there are some races that do give you proficiency with certain weapons that do have finesse, such as elves. You have no proficiency with tools. Again, this can change based on your race. Saving throws are wisdom and charisma, and your skills are choose 2 from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, or religion. I definitely recommend picking religion as your one, and then based on your character's backstory, then pick an additional one. Now, there is starting wealth, and we'll get to that when it gets to that section in the player's handbook. Now, your starting equipment can be a mace or a warhammer if proficient. So the warhammer is optional if you're proficient. That's probably dictated by your divine domain. In terms of armor, you can start off with scale mail, leather armor, or there's an additional option, chainmail, if you're proficient. So yeah, there's a situation down the line, the divine domain down the line is possibly going to give you heavy armor and martial weapons. In terms of the range weapons, you can start off with a light crossbow with 20 crossbow bolts, or an additional simple weapon. So say like you took the warhammer and you wanted like a simple weapon, you still have that option over the light crossbow. You have an option between a priest pack and an explorer's pack. Both are good, and then you're guaranteed. Now they're the options. Like you can either have one or the other with those. Now, you are guaranteed though, regardless of which armor or what weapon or whatever pack you take, you are guaranteed to start off with a shield and a holy symbol. So, even if you take the leather armor, which I believe is the lightest of those, that's a leather armor is I think 11 plus dex. I think studded leather is 13 plus dex. So let's say you take leather armor, that's 11. With shield, that's plus 2. That gives you 13 plus dex. Or if you do have studded leather armor, that's 13 plus 2. That's 15 plus dex. So yeah, there you go. Now again, this is only if you take starting equipment. There is a variant called starting weld instead, which some DMs are more fond of doing than that. Okay. So, alright. Sorry folks, my headset was acting up there. Alright. Now, as I've already explained, the spell casting, the cantrips, and preparing spells, you do, however, have ritual casting. You can cast a cleric spell as a ritual if that spell has the ritual tag, and oh wow, that is very disappointing. You have to have the spell prepared. Wizards, we don't. Sorry, I was not aware of that. A wizard has a similar ritual cast, except ours allows us to cast it without it being prepared, and we can cast it for free. I think ritual casting still allows you to cast it for free, but as it says there, you have to have it prepared. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what all ritual casting does. It allows you to cast a spell for free without spending the spell slot, but it takes longer. But yeah, with cleric, it seems you have to have the spell prepared. Now, your spellcasting focus is your holy symbol. Now, a spellcasting focus allows you to ignore certain conditions of casting a spell, such as requiring to say like have a piece of wood, or for example, the mage armor spell. The mage armor spell requires you to have a piece of cured leather before to cast a spell. Now, cured leather does not give you a price. So it's assumed it's less than a gold piece. So basically, with spellcasting focus, instead of having that piece of cured leather, I can use my spellcasting focus to ignore it and still cast spell. Basically, if a cleric does not have their spellcasting focus, it may restrict some of their spells. Now, here's where it gets to the divine domains. You have choose one domain related to your deity. Okay? You have knowledge, life, light, nature, tempest, trickery, or war. Now, there are expansions to this. There have been expansions where other books have added new domains. And I'll cover them when I get to those books. But for this video, we're going to focus on those domains. Now, each domain gives you certain spells, additional spells to pick from. Once you gain a domain spell, you always have it prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare each day. If you have a domain spell that doesn't appear on your cleric spell list, that spell is nonetheless a cleric spell for you. So basically, your domain spells allow you to ignore the restricted spell list of a cleric, and you never have to have those particular spells prepared. They're always prepared. So if you can prepare a total of... Actually, let's find out the total of prepared spells. To prepare the list of cleric spells that are available for you to cast, choose them from the cleric spell list. When you do so, choose a number of cleric spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your cleric level, minimum 1. Okay, so let's see. Highest modifier for wisdom could be 5 if you're not taking any items that increase your wisdom. So 20. You can have a total of 25 spells prepared because it's plus your cleric level. So yeah, that's a total of 25 spells prepared. I doubt there's that many. There's way more than that for cleric spells. But yeah, you can have 20 spells prepared, but your domain spells do not count towards that 25, which is brilliant. All right. Now this is where it talks about your channel divinity. Now, again, that really goes more in towards the domains, with the exception of what is here. So all clerics get this: turn undead. As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer censoring undead. Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If that creature fails the saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet of you. It also can take reactions for its action. It can use only dash action or try to escape from the effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action. Again, brilliant. Clerics really mess with undead campaigns. They're literally just like, yep, boom, one of my channel. Actually, let's find out if channel divinity is short or long rest. I feel like it's long. Channel divinity. Oh, it's any rest. When you finish a short or long rest, you regain your expended uses. That is absolutely amazing, folks. So yeah, that means, like, again, a short rest can be from 30 minutes to an hour. 8 hours is a flat 8. So yeah, folks, you could just be like, okay, we're about to go into a graveyard. Don't worry, I have all my uses of channel divinity. Boom! Oh shit, a whole bunch of undead. Boom! Turn undead. There you go. And then all of a sudden, but then again, maybe you don't want to destroy. Maybe you don't want to turn them. Maybe there's a whole bunch of weak mobs. You'll just be like, boom, 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 destroy undeads everywhere. You know, like maybe it's the really weak ones, like, and you could just instantly kill them. Or if it's even the strong ones, see, like the destroy undead works only on the challenge rating 4 or lower. But channel divinity turn undead does, that goes on, like that can affect all of them. So like that. So those two together makes clerics completely anti-undead. Now, be careful though if you are a cleric who happens to be traveling with a necromancer, because his undead will be affected by you. But then again, if there's enough party cohesion, then that necromancer will know to keep his clerics at a certain distance. Like maybe he would then focus on having skeletons rather than zombies. Skeletons with bows, shooting volleys. Trying to keep their distance. Let's see here. You have divine intervention. Here we go. Now, folks, as you can see, we're not getting into any of the domains yet. We're focusing first on we're focusing on the non-archetype abilities. Beginning at 10th level, you can call your deity to intervene on your behalf when your need is great. Imploring your deity's aid requires you to use your action, describe the assistance you seek, and roll a percentile dice. If you roll the number equal to or lower than your cleric level, your deity intervenes. The DM chooses the nature of this intervention. The effect of any cleric spells or cleric domain spell would be an appropriate would be appropriate. If your deity intervenes, you can't use this feature again for 7 days. Otherwise, you can't use it again after you finish a long rest. At 20th level, your call intervention succeeds automatically, no roll required. That's at 20th level. That's like when you're supposed to be taking on a challenge rating above 20, folks. And a challenge rating 20 alone, there are creatures that are challenge rating above 20. But a challenge rating 20 is supposed to be a medium to a hard fight for a group of 4 heroes that are level 20. So yeah, there you go. That is why it gets to that point. That is a good spell, but that's a good ability. It's just that it can be anything. It depends on the DM's interpretation, and even then, it requires such a high chance. It has such a low chance of success. Now, let's get into the divine domains. In the Pantheon, every deity has influence over different aspects of mortal life and civilization, called a deity's domain. Now, each deity does have domains. They're bracketed at the section. We'll get into them when we get to the gods. A quick example would be the Raven Queen. She is a grave and blood domain. She's grave. She'll be. Sorry, they added the grave domain in Xanathar's Guide. Let's see. She would be death and what else? That's gonna wreck my head. I'm just gonna quickly jump over to the gods, and we'll find out this now. I'll give you one example of the for the gods. Okay, gods other multiverse, page 293. There we go. Deities of the Forgotten Realms. Okay. Seems like the Raven Queen's not part of the Forgotten Realms. That's strange. I thought she was. Is she part of Greyhawk? Nope. That's very strange. I thought she was. Is she part of Dragonlance? Non-human deities. Huh. That's strange. Okay. Because I'm Irish, let's go. Now, this book does feature examples of gods from our own ancient ancestors' pantheons, from Celtic, Greek, Egyptian, Norse. Let's go with Celtic. Let's go with. Alright, let's go with two of them. The Dagda, the god of weather and crops. Now, Dagda is the god. Again, all the other gods have names and then a title. This Dagda is just known as the Dagda. Like, no name, it's just him. It's weird. He's like the god. But okay, his alignment is chaotic neutral, but his domains, so for example, if you're playing a cleric who's and you're playing a game that uses the Celtic deities, if you're playing in this sort of setting, the domains a cleric who serves him would be either nature or trickery. Okay, and then if you take Arwen, god of life and death, she is neutral evil. Her suggested domains are life and death. So you would either be a life or death domain. Now, the death domain is in the DM's, the Dungeon Master's guide. It's mainly suggested for villains, but technically players could play as it. It's very pro death, like doing lots of damage with necrotic. So, it is available there for those that are interested. So yeah, when you're picking a deity, pick one that, like, pick your domain based around your deity. Look up your deity, and then figure it out. I'm surprised the Raven Queen. She is actually part of Dungeons and Dragons lore, but clearly she was dropped out of 5th edition. I don't know why, but that seems to be the case. All right, let's go on now into talking about the deities. I have about 15 minutes left now. Alright, the gods of knowledge, including Ogma, Bok, Gillian, Orion, and Thoth, value learning and understanding above all. Some teach that knowledge is to be gathered and shared in libraries and universities, or promote the practical knowledge of craft and invention. Some deities hoard knowledge and keep its secrets to themselves, such as Ioun from Critical Role, and some promise their followers that they will gain tremendous power if they unlock the secrets of the multiverse. Followers of these gods study eccentric lore, collect old tomes, and delve into secret places of the earth and learn all they can. Some gods of knowledge promote the practical knowledge of craft and invention, including smiths deities like Gond, Rox, Onotar, Moradin, Hephaestus, and Gaiobnu. Whatever. Now, that is just the lore of the gods of knowledge. Your knowledge domain spells are as follows: Command and Identify, two very good ones. Augury and Suggestion, very good options again. Non-Detection, Speak with Dead, brilliant. Arcane Eye and Confusion, Legend Lore, and Scrying. Now, here's the levels that you get them at. You get, from level 1, you get Command and Identify. At 3rd level, you get Augury and Suggestion. 5th level, you get Non-Detection and Speak with Dead. 7th level, you get Arcane Eye and Confusion. 9th level, you get Legend Lore and Scrying. Now, I'm not going to tell you what spells do, otherwise we'll be here for hours. So in all my videos, I'll only be talking about I'll just give you the name of spells. That is it, folks. I do apologize, but that is the best I can do because there's over 100 spells in Dungeons and Dragons, and especially when I get to the wizard, I would be here all goddamn day. I'll probably do a spell description section at some point, but it won't be for a while. Blessings of Knowledge. Here's your first feature of Knowledge Domain. At 1st level, you learn 2 languages of your choice. You also become proficient in your choice of 2 of the following skills: Arcana, History, Knowledge, or Religion. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that use either of those skills. That is goddamn brilliant. Your channel divinity is known as Knowledge of the Ages. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your channel divinity to tap into a divine well of knowledge. As an action, you can choose one skill or tool for 10 minutes. You have proficiency with that chosen skill or tool. Brilliant. I can see you making a lot of use during downtime. Here's another channel divinity that you get at 6th level. Read Thoughts. At 6th level, you can use your channel divinity to read a creature's thoughts. You can then use your access to the creature's mind to command it. Does that carry over to the next page? It does. I need to zoom in so I can actually read it. Sorry, folks. I have to start using Microsoft Edge to read my documents now, and they changed the way it works. As an action, choose one creature you can see within 60 feet of you. That creature must make a Wisdom saving throw. If that creature succeeds on the saving throw, you can't use this feature again until you finish a short or long rest. If the creature fails its save, you can read its surface thoughts though foremost in its mind, reflecting its current emotion and what it's actively thinking about. When it is within 60 feet of you, this effect lasts for 1 minute. During that time, you can use your action to end this effect and cast a suggestion spell on that creature without expending the spell slot. The target automatically fails its saving throw against the spell. That is the full effect of Read Thoughts. See, what I read to you earlier about reading its thoughts and commanding it, that was the flavor text. The next page actually had the mechanics of said spell. So they can resist it, as we saw there. 8th level, you have a feature called Potent Spellcasting. Starting at 8th level, you add your Wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any cleric spell. So your attack spells get a bit of an oomph. Now, your last ability from Knowledge Domain is Visions of the Past. Starting at level 17, you can call up visions of the past that relate to an object you hold or your immediate surroundings. You spend at least 1 minute in meditation and prayer, then you receive a dreamlike, shadowy glimpses of recent events. You can meditate in this way for a number of minutes equal to your wisdom score, and you must maintain concentration during the time, as if you were casting the spell. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. There are 2 mechanics more so for it. Like we read some mechanics in terms of how you use it and how long you can use it for. Now here is the specifics on reading an object and reading an area. Object. Holding an object as you meditate, you can see visions of the object's previous owner. After meditating for 1 minute, you can learn how the owner acquired and lost the object, as well as the most recent significant event involving the object and that owner. If the object was owned by another creature in the recent past within a number of days equal to your wisdom score, you can spend 1 additional minute for each owner to learn the same information about that creature. So basically, if the object was handed from one person to another, you can see all of them. Area reading. As you meditate, you see visions of recent events in your immediate vicinity: a room, street, tunnel, clearing, or the like, up to a 50-foot cube, going back a number of days equal to your wisdom modifier. For each minute you meditate, you learn about one significant event, beginning with the most recent. Significant events typically involve powerful emotions such as battles or betrayals, marriages or murders, births and funerals. However, they may also include more mundane events that are nevertheless important to your current situation. That is sort of handy for like puzzle rooms. Say like you're chasing after the boss and you know he was here within the last few days. And in order to get through this door, you need to solve a puzzle. Have a knowledge cleric meditate, and he could potentially see how the guy opened the door. Very, very useful. And you get this feature again at a short rest. Now, we're now getting into the life domain, folks. This is the ultimate healer, in my opinion. The life domain focuses on the vibrant, positive energy, one of the fundamental forces of the universe that sustains all life. The gods of life promote vitality and health throughout through healing the sick and wounded, caring for those in need, and driving away the forces of death and undeath. Almost any non-evil deity can claim influence over this domain, particularly agricultural deities such as Chawantia, Arya, and Demeter. Sun gods such as Lathander, Pelor, and Ray. I probably butchered that last one. Gods of healing and endurance such as Ilmater, Mithakul, Apollo, and Denacht, and gods of home and community such as Hearst, Hathor, or Bodriel. So basically, a lot of gods can claim life as their domain. Now, your life domain spells are gained and are as such: At first level, you get Bless and Cure Wounds, which is brilliant. That means Cure Wounds is always prepared. You will always have that healing spell, which is brilliant. Third level, Lesser Restoration and Spiritual Weapon. Again, two brilliant ones. Beacon of Hope and Revivify. My god, folks, Revivify is brilliant. If you see an ally go down in a fight, you have 10 rounds to just tap them and they're back up. Death Ward and Guardian of Fate. Both good. Death Ward prevents someone from going to 0 hit points once, but it's still good. And then at 9th level, Mass Cure Wounds and Raise Dead. Both brilliant for their own reason. Like, as I said, folks, life domain all the way. You have a bonus proficiency with this build because, now again, I imagine the writers were like this, because you're trying to keep, since a lot of healing spells require you to touch or be in close proximity, your bonus proficiency for this domain is heavy armor. Which, again, I can understand, because you have to be up there in the face with all the enemies. So, like, you need to be able to either avoid taking damage with heavy AC, or you could end up needing to have lots of health. I would suggest both. Now, your first feature of life domain is, starting at first level, your healing spells are more effective. Whenever you use a spell of first level or higher to restore hit points to a creature, that creature regains an additional hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level. So a minimum 3 life to a maximum of an extra 11. And don't mock those numbers. That they can be they can make all the difference. You have a Channel Divinity, Preserve Life. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your Channel Divinity to heal the badly injured. As an action, you present your holy symbol and invoke healing energy that can restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your cleric level. Choose any creatures within 30 feet of you and divide those hit points among them. This feature can restore a creature to no more than half of its hit point maximum. You can't use this feature on an undead or construct. That is brilliant. So, like, say level 5. 5 times 5, 25. So you'll have 25 hit points to divide out amongst your party. Absolutely amazing. You have Blessed Healer then. Next. Begin at 6th level, your healing spells you cast on your others heal you as well. When you cast a spell of 1st level or higher that restores hit points to a creature other than you regain hit points equal to 2 plus that spell's level. Oh my god. You get Divine Strike. You gain the ability to infuse your weapon strikes with Divine Energy once on each of your turns when you hit. Not miss. When you hit with a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal an additional 1d8 radiant damage to the target. When you reach 14th level, the extra damage is increased to 2d8. So yeah, there you go. Like, and then Supreme Healing at 17th level. When you would normally roll 1 or more dice to restore hit points with a spell, you instead use the highest number possible for each dice. For example, instead of restoring 2d6 hit points to a creature, you restore 12. Like, what the hell? See, this is why I said Life Cleric, Ultimate Healer. Like, you're up there with your Divine Strike, you'll be wearing heavy armor. If there's no one that needs healing, boom! Big lots of damage. You're still waiting, looking around, boom, 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 boom. You're still hitting with your Divine Strike on each of your turns. Oh, someone is injured. Heal. They get then, again, 2d6, we'll say. Boom, they instead get 12. They then get an additional 2 plus the spell's level to a max. And as I said, that was a potential maximum of 11. That is 33 hit points right there. And you then also get healed for 11. Like, what the hell, folks? And then there's your Channel Divinity as well that you can use. Alright, folks, we're getting to the Light Domain. Gods of Light, including Helm, Lathander, Poultice, Brachinia, the Silver Flame, Bilius, Apollo, and Rakok promote the ideals of rebirth, renewal, truth, vigilance, and beauty. Often used the symbol of the sun. Some of these gods are portrayed as the sun itself or as a charioteer who guides the sun across the sky. Others are tireless sentinels whose eyes pierce through shadows and see through every deception. Some are deities of beauty and artistry who teach that art is a vehicle for the soul's improvement. Clerics of the gods of light are enlightened souls infused with radiance and the power of their gods, discerning vision charged with chasing away lies and burning away darkness. Light domain spells. First level you get Burning Hands and Fiery Fire. At third level you get Flaming Sphere and Scorching Ray. Fifth level you get Daylight and Fireball. Seventh level you get Guardian of the Fate and Wall of Fire. At ninth level you get Flame Strike and Scry. Basically, if it generates light or allows you to discover something, or it just fire, you get it. You get a bonus cantrip that is light if you don't already know it. I would not take, if I was playing a light domain cleric, I would not take light, just so that way I can have 6 cantrips. Now, Warding Flare. Also at first level you can interpose divine light between yourself and an attacking enemy. When you are attacked by a creature within 30 feet of you that you can see, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll, causing the light to flare before it hits or misses. An attacker that can't be blinded is immune to this feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of once. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So basically, each time someone's going to attack you, flare. Let's see if you can basically blind the person to make them miss you. Channel Divinity, Radiance of the Dawn. Starting at second level, you can use your Channel Divinity to harness sunlight, banishing the darkness and dealing radiant damage to your foes. As an action, you present your holy symbol and any magical darkness within 30 feet of you is dispelled. Additionally, each hostile creature within 30 feet of you must make a con save. A creature takes radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus your cleric level on a failed saving throw and half as much on a successful one. A creature that has a total cover from you is not affected. At 6th level, your Warding Flare is improved, so that when a creature within 30 feet of you attacks a creature other than you. So basically, your improved flare is so that not only you can protect yourself, but you can start protecting your allies with that. You have Potent Spell Casting, which means you deal extra damage when you add your Wisdom modifier to your when you deal spells with a cantrip, only to your cantrip. Corona of Light. Starting at 7th level, you can use your action to activate an aura of sunlight that lasts for 1 minute or until you dismiss it. Using another action. You emit bright light in a 60-foot radius and dim light an additional 30 feet beyond that. Your enemies in the bright light have disadvantage on saving throws against any spell that deals fire or radiant damage. Now, I'm just going to check something, folks. Alright, we're reaching an hour, folks, and I have 1, 2, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have 4 more domains, folks, and we're at an hour mark. See, this is why I was saying that casters are going to be my longest videos. I'm going to have to break them up into 2 parts. So yeah, folks. I'm going to upload this part first, and then I'll be back at some point with the second part. But yeah, oh wow, this is going to take a while. Oh. Alright folks, I'm going to take a short break. And I'll be back hopefully today or next week with more of the cleric. Next week we'll be covering the next D&D video I cover, that's not part of a D&D game, we'll cover nature, tempest, trickery, and war domains. And then eventually I'll get to druids, which are going to be a lot simpler to do. Druids don't have... It's just that wizards and clerics have a lot of different archetypes. I think wizard has one more than cleric, but yeah, they're going to be very lengthy, folks. Oh, right. I'm gonna pick a picture to use as the thumbnail for this video. But we'll be back shortly with... we'll be back at some point with more D&D videos. And possibly we'll be recording the one-shot. I do not know 100%, but I will find out. This is Will for Ninja signing out. May the Force be with you, and remember, roll for initiative.